218. Marcus Traxler, Trelly Hildebrand, Travis Krins here for another edition of the show. Nathan Stacken up in Duluth. Very good. Marcus, let's start with some hockey, shall we? Nashville, our Nashville team, up 3-2. Have a chance to close it out. I assume they play on Monday because this isn't the NBA. So Monday, I hope that's correct. And they're very good at home. They're 10-1 at home this year. They just lost at home for the first time in the playoffs. Chances? You like Nashville's chances to close it out tomorrow night?
I do.
Good.
The Echo is back.
Good. Let's take this goddamn thing here. Put it in there.
I think that they've got a good chance to close this thing out at home. Like you said, they have something special at Bridgestone Arena, and they've found a way to make that a very difficult place to play. Given that basically everything in the arena is yellow, that's a little odd. They're one of the only teams.
It's their team colors.
That is big on the yellow in hockey. So I think they've shown that they've got good goaltending. Pekka Rinne has been really solid in these playoffs. They've overcome some serious injuries. So I think it's Nashville's series to lose now at this stage, and even if it does go to a Game 7 in Anaheim, they've shown they can win there as well. But there is going to be some pressure on them to close it out at home. That's for sure.
Charlie, thoughts on Nashville going yellow? It's a lot of yellow.
It's a lot of yellow. I'm not a huge fan of yellow because growing up in movies it showed cowardice.
What?
I don't care.
Are you yellow?
Yellow's fine.
What?
I don't have any problems with it. But I'm rooting for the Ducks, though. I don't know why, but
What?
I hope the Ducks win. I need a Ducks Senators Stanley Cup final.
What do you know about yellow? Where did that come from? What sense does that make?
I do not know.
I'm going to call
I'm
you.
sure if you went and looked into it, you would find out it's something that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
In the NBA, what teams are big on wearing yellow or gold? The
Nobody?
Lakers have been for a long time. The Cavs, it's a fairly new advancement. They've never been able to pick one color to stick with for more than a decade. So that's a fairly new adventure. You could argue that in the NHL, Boston and Pittsburgh are somewhat yellow teams, but they're usually black and gold. So Nashville has embraced the yellow. I'm like Charlie. I'm not a huge yellow guy. It's interesting. I'm not willing to root against them because of it, so that's to their credit.
I like the yellow. What do we got on the other side? Pittsburgh, Ottawa. What do we know? What's off the wire? The latest on the wire from Ottawa to Pittsburgh.
Well, I think Pittsburgh has somewhat steadied the ship, although they have had to make a goaltender change. It's an interesting situation that they find themselves in. Marc-Andre Fleury, I think people thought they weren't going to be able to get through the playoffs without making some sort of change, so they go to Matt Murray. I still think this is an insanely boring series, one that I have trouble paying any attention to.
Are you more bored with this or the NBA playoffs?
Well, the NBA playoffs are boring, but at least there's the star power there. LeBron James is incredible to watch. The Warriors just sort of bleeding teams to death is something, even if I'm not watching. So this is to me this is a tough series to watch, and I think we've got Game 5 today, right? I believe so. I think it's 2-2. But
it's a big game at Pittsburgh coming up, 2:00. I'll do Stacken's thing of telling you what channel and time it is. 2 Central, 3 Eastern. Even though we're approximately 10 hours from any Eastern time zone, please give us the Eastern time zone.
What about Greenwich Standard Time?
Greenwich, what is that? England? Oh, I would say it's probably
6 hours ahead of us.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock tonight. It's prime time in Greenwich. I want those Greenwich ratings.
And Stacking complains about hockey not doing prime time. It's got that Greenwich market locked up.
I'd rather be prime time there than prime time here.
I would just like to point out that we're only 3 hours away from the Mountain Time Zone, and nobody seems to give a damn. So
Nobody lives in the Mountain Time Zone.
nobody lives there.
Denver. That's your Mountain Time Zone. Denver. NBA Variety Supersonics not in the playoffs yet. Playoffs start June 1st because that's when the finals start. So we're still 10 days away from the NBA playoffs starting. It's been a very long season, bad season. Charlie, is this finals here? Is this the biggest one of our lifetimes? Golden State Cleveland 3, the most anticipated. How would you characterize what we're going to see coming up 10 days from now?
First off, you said they start June 1st. You don't think the Spurs are going to come back and beat the Warriors?
They might.
You don't have to answer that if you don't want to, because they won't. They won't. The Warriors are going to win, and the Warriors are probably going to beat the Cavs also. That's my guess. But no, this will be up there in the big finals of like the last 30 years, just because it's the third straight time they've played. And obviously, unlike other times, like the Cowboys and the Bills in the Super Bowl, although I guess they only did it twice. But, when the same team keeps winning, it's not as interesting.
No, like Steelers, Cowboys.
Yeah, and then this is the rubber match then. I think it'll – and as bad as it makes the preceding rounds, I think if they both enter at 12-0,
it's going to be great.
There will be an extra interesting, I don't know, twinge or hype factor to it. Just to be like, yeah, neither of these two teams have lost in the playoffs. What's going to happen now? So I think hopefully the series works out better than last year. I mean, Game 7 was close, and it went 7 games, but most entertaining. Hopefully we get, 3 or 4 games in the finals that are at least one possession. Maybe not even one possession.
Within 10 points?
Decided by single digits.
I have my trivia question is based off this conversation, so I'm making that up right now.
Charlie has one. Marcus has one. I don't have one. Eamon said a while ago that he thought both teams were going undefeated. Well, that was a little bit nuts, especially considering the Spurs. I thought the Spurs could get a game or two, and Kawhi Leonard is out. So are we getting there 12-0, Marcus? Are we going to see first time ever 2 teams, no losses in the finals?
How could you argue against that at this point? I mean, if Kawhi Leonard were to come back in Game 4, maybe they could win that game. Maybe the Spurs could win that game. They played what I would describe as valiantly in Game 3, but it's clear they're just not capable of sticking with Golden State. And I don't know how you can look at Boston. No Isaiah Thomas for the remainder of the series, the remainder of the playoffs. They're just done.
What about Kelly Olynyk?
Kelly Olynyk was the right guy to beat Washington, I guess, in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. But it's quite clear he's not the right guy to get them into the NBA Finals. I do like the idea of Kelly Olynyk NBA Finals MVP, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So.
He did not look good defensively when he, through switching, got matched up defending LeBron James. So,
40-point win. 40-point win for Cleveland. They're up by almost 40 at half. Very, very impressive. So Cleveland, I think, as I've said before, I think this is the weakest the East has been in a long, long time. 10, 12 years. The East this year is very, very, very bad. And, Cleveland gave no shits about getting that 1 seed. They had no intentions. The rest of their guys, they didn't care at all. So, draft lottery.
The East is every year been worse for the past 15 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there were a few years here and there where the gap was pretty close, and you could make a case for, the West is probably better, but at least the East is also pretty good. But yeah, like you said, that not the case this year.
Where would you put Boston? Let's say Boston's the best team out east besides Cleveland. Would they be the 5th best team in the West?
Who's the 5th seed in the West this year?
Utah, Clippers, Houston, Spurs, Warriors. Is Boston better than any of those teams? Marcus, what say
I
you?
don't know.
I'm
Utah,
sorry,
maybe. But
I missed
I don't know.
that. What was it?
Huh? Boston, would they be like the 6th best team in the West? Utah's 5, Clippers 4. Are they better than either of those teams?
I would probably take Utah over, and I mean on the right day maybe take Clippers too. The way they're playing, with the way Boston's playing right now, I think there's just a lot of teams in that West that would have been able to beat them.
Oklahoma City was the 6. Would you take Oklahoma City as a 6th seed over Boston?
I think it's like a 6-game series.
Is Boston even in the playoffs in the West? That's what I bet if Boston was in the West, they'd have the number 1 pick in the draft next year. That's how bad Boston is. Boston gets the number 1 pick, draft lottery, because the Nets are terrible. It was interesting going back, looking at what people were saying at the time when this trade happened, how terrible this trade was for Boston because they gave up Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. Like a bunch of guys who were old as shit back then. And I don't know what I thought back then, but I know I didn't think the Nets would like win a title or do anything. They may have won a playoff series. They didn't do anything of note with those two guys in their mid-30s. So very odd that people were so excited about the Nets. And now Boston has the number 1 pick. Markelle Fultz is their pick. Charlie, would you rather have this Markelle Fultz gentleman who won all of 9 games at Washington this year, or would you trade it for a Paul George or a Jimmy Butler or some other guy?
I, at this point, would say, granted, I don't know a whole lot about the Washington guy. I would get somebody like Butler, though, just because at least granted, I don't know how old Jimmy Butler is.
26?
If he's like 29, I'm 26, then yeah, I'd probably do it. And at least where you're getting something good that you know how good they are.
He'll be 20. He'll be 28, I guess, next year. 28.
Yeah, okay. Then it would be a little more on the end. I like the idea of getting a proven commodity. It seems like we're getting kind of, especially the lottery guys at the very, very top of the draft. It seems like a lot of times the NBA sometimes does it better than the NFL in some ways. Maybe not throughout the whole draft, but at least with the first 3 or 4 picks. I mean, there's always a Darko Milicic or thing like that, but I would still rather get somebody where okay, I'm going to get this guy. If he's not better than Isaiah Thomas, at least he's our second best player. And, we're improving our talent, and we're also getting a guy who's been through the grind, knows what to do and stuff like that. So I would trade it for somebody else. But that, like I said, that's without knowing a great deal about Fultz. I don't think I watched Washington play a single game this past college basketball season.
Didn't miss much.
If I was Boston, I would call up Indiana right now and say, we'll give you this 1 pick. If you want Paul George, that's who we would like. Would both sides do that trade? Because if I'm Boston, I would do that trade today.
Wasn't it that Paul George is going to be a free agent after next year?
You sign him, he can make – Indiana cannot offer him more money.
Okay.
He can get more money somewhere else. So
My point is,
it was like if he would have been
yeah.
If he would have been All NBA
if he would have been named one of the 15 guys to the All NBA team, they could have done something to give him more money, but that did not happen.
So that's my question. If Paul George is going to sign back, or is going to sign a long-term deal with the Celtics, and I don't know how difficult that is, it doesn't seem like it would be a huge problem. I think part of the credence is how much you think he really wants to play for the Lakers, and if that's a real thing or not. But if otherwise, I'm doing that deal, and if I'm Indiana, I'm doing that deal too. I'd rather have the number 1 pick in this draft because it's supposed to be a very good draft. And obviously the Celtics would pick for you, right, in this situation. So
yeah, Celtics will pick whoever you want, and then you trade Paul George. $19.5 million next year, and then he'll be a free agent.
So Indiana, if it would be interesting because you kind of have to scout the number 1 pick that you are essentially trading for, it would sort of drive home the fact that they're making this trade. It wouldn't necessarily be a huge surprise then in that instance. To me, it makes more sense probably for the Butler deal, to be honest. A little bit younger, like you said.
No. Paul George, a year younger.
A year younger.
9 months younger. 9 months younger, in fact. That surprised it surprised me.
His mom had both of them.
He did.
It's one after
Or if he's 9 months younger, is Jimmy Butler the father of Paul George?
Yes.
I think the Jimmy Butler trade would maybe make a little more sense. I guess if the contract thing is not a concern, then that's fine. I think if you're the Bulls, you can maybe plug in Markelle Fultz and keep motoring more so than the Pacers can. I think the Pacers are it would be interesting to see. And the fact that the Bulls have had their chances to get rid of Butler at this point maybe shows that they're not really that interested in the trade. But and I think at the same time they're trying to piece it along as they go to sort of rebuild, and that didn't work last year.
Big rumor last year was Minnesota with Jimmy Butler, and they would have got what's his nuts from Providence, and it wasn't all that great. So I think that's a good job by Chicago not doing that trade. I think
probably should have made that trade if you're the Wolves, if you could.
Yeah, Zach LaVine I think may have been part of that trade, and they played better without Zach LaVine. So Timberwolves, good trade there, not doing it with the Bulls. Good job of keeping Jim Butler. Would a more intriguing case be that the Lakers at 2, and Paul George would probably be going to the Lakers in free agency after the end of next year. Lakers going to pick Lonzo Ball, so I think he should be fine. Ain't going to score a lot of points, but can a player like Lonzo Ball, who's been
score a lot of points, Lonzo Ball,
who's he's been compared to Jason Kidd for whatever reason. I don't know if he ever scores more than 15. I don't know. Is it an insult to Lonzo Ball to call him another Ricky Rubio?
I think he's a little bit better shooter than Ricky Rubio, right?
Sure, I'll give you that.
But other than that, his game's probably similar.
Lakers, Paul George. They're not doing that deal.
They're not making a trade.
Should they?
No, because they probably can get him in free agency.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree. At this point, you're only a year away from getting him. Maybe a couple years ago, it would have made a little more sense if you're trying to replace him right after Kobe Bryant, but they decided they weren't going to do it. And obviously, they've had some major front office changes. So I don't know exactly what the plan is, but I do think it starts with drafting, Alonzo Ball or somebody really good, and then maybe next summer you add the next piece. I don't know if there are any pieces that are going to be able to add here.
Tom Malone gave up 8 runs today in over an inning.
Congratulations to Mr. Malone.
It's not a great start for him.
This won't happen, but what would Stacken's thoughts be? And again, this won't happen. But if somehow slipped or the Timberwolves traded up, what would Stacken think if the Timberwolves drafted Lonzo?
Love it.
Somehow?
I would love it more than anything going on right now, because he hates the dad so much. He hates the dad as much as anybody. Charlie, you like to ask him, you hate this guy or this guy? I don't think there's anybody that he would pick over this guy right now.
Which is pretty.
Yeah, and I think it's fair. Like, it's understanding why people would be annoyed with or not like LeVar Ball.
Thinks he's the worst.
But it's the degree to which Stacken hates him. It's like, wait, I get if you don't like him, but you are
over the top.
It reminds me.
It's irrational.
It's like it's like a little kid watching their favorite cartoon, like how much they hate the villain in the cartoon. I hate Shredder so much. Well, I mean,
it's understandable.
I get why you don't like him, but I think you're putting a little too much effort into hating him so much.
Timberwolves. Where are the Timberwolves in here? What are you looking at here?
I haven't studied it terribly close. I have heard people talk about, I believe it's Lauri Markkanen, Lowry Markkinen, the guy I think from Arizona.
Frank Markkinen.
I don't necessarily. I mean, I realize Pekovic is not part of their plan.
Where would he fit in?
Right.
He's
exactly.
a 7-footer that can shoot.
You already have Karl Anthony Towns. You have Gordy Jang. I guess he fits in there somewhere, but do you take another guard? I would say no.
Is this Rubio? What is this, Rubio's last year, or is?
I think so. I think there's been talk of maybe what they're going to do here, if there should be an extension.
Send him to the D League.
The G League now. The G League.
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
I got a guy.
Who's that?
I got Malik Monk.
I would love that.
That's who I think got, because they need shooters. They don't have any shooters, and you need shooters in this era. He's a shooter. Get him.
I agree. I would be perfectly fine with Malik Monk. I hope he's there. I mean, they're at 6. They're not in a bad position here.
Seven.
So I think that's an okay position to find themselves in here. And yeah, maybe if you really like Monk, maybe you find a way to get up one more spot or 2 more spots if you think you've got to do that and close the deal. I don't know.
Yeah, you got Wiggins, Monk, Tony Towns. It's a pretty good little 3. Zach LaVine, if he comes back. It's a good little 4 right there. Maybe score some points. Maybe get in the playoffs for the first time in a dozen years.
I think if you're a Wolves fan, you kind of got to eye free agency and you got to look at, okay, what are we going to do, like you said, to solve the shooting problem? I know what I would do is I would consider a J.J. Redick type who's going to be a free agent.
Good idea.
And maybe find a way to get him on board because, like you said, we need shooting. And the Wolves, not a very good three-point shooting team last year in volleyball league. And so that's something they got to think about.
You got a trivia question related to the basketball, I assume?
Yes, I'm finishing it at this moment.
Okay.
Give me 30 seconds here.
Charlie, while you do that, I'll give you more than 30 seconds. I'll give you more. Charlie, apparently the Rams and Chargers' new stadium is going to be pushed back a year because of 2 months of rain. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Apparently it was going to open in 2019. Now it's going to be 2020. Super Bowl is supposed to be there in 2020, but apparently there's a rule that says that you cannot host the Super Bowl in your first year of existence of a new stadium. Do you expect the Super Bowl to be there because of this rule? And apparently there's so much rain, they were digging, and the whole thing was underwater for quite some time. What thoughts on this? Because this seems ridiculous.
I did not know any of this. This seems odd. I don't know. It seems like or not, the NFL finds a lot of things to work out in their favor, and I'm sure they will find some way to have a Super Bowl in Los Angeles in the near future.
If only there was another stadium you could hold it out there.
I heard, I don't know this to be a fact.
Sources
Close to me say that the MetLife Stadium in New York hosted the Super Bowl in its first year.
Is that right?
I don't know if that's true, but if that's the case, then, and I mean, this is Los Angeles. They're gonna pull whatever strings they gotta do to have the Super Bowl there in their first year. I can't imagine this will be too much of a problem.
MetLife Stadium.
I would be way more excited for a Super Bowl in the first year of the stadium in Los Angeles because it will probably be better weather than New York in February. Where, to be fair, the weather that year wasn't as bad as it could have been.
No.
It certainly wasn't like it was fantastic, though, either.
The game was as bad as it could have been, though. That's the truth.
I'm going to take that back. Because that Super Bowl was only like 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm pretty sure that stadium was open longer than that. But I had read that somewhere, so somebody, I think, had that wrong.
Stack Attack?
I read it on the Stack Attack blog, stackattack.blogspot.com, or whatever the site is.
Stackattack.deckspot.com.
/Stack Attack.
/Stackins Deck.
AOL keyword Stack Attack.
I think the time has come to do a fake Twitter account for Stackin.
Okay.
Stackin's Hands. @Stackin_hands.
And you know what photo will be the profile picture to start.
We're going to war, folks. We're going to war.
We're going to war.
WW2, the big one.
And then the second photo I would consider is the one we saw this week. We really can thank Stacken's lovely wife for posting all these photos on Facebook of him. His hand wasn't really that close to getting cut off, but he's using a circular saw. And I thought Stacken's going to cut his goddamn beautiful, large, massive hands in that circular saw, and we're gonna have a terrific tragedy.
That'd be like cutting off Brady's arm. I'd be like, wow.
That's right. That's
Terrible.
right. Okay, I have the trivia question ready. It is in homage.
Michael Jordan.
to Nathan Stacken.
Oh, good
A
Lord.
Stacken style trivia question where you can earn multiple points.
Terrific.
I'm looking for the participants and the winner and the series score.
Hold on here. Hold the fuck on here. What are we looking for? Teams?
The last 10 Eastern Conference finalists and the winner, and what the series score was, and the same in the West. So we got 20 series. I'm looking for who beat who and in how many games it happened. So,
Do you have to say the year?
yes.
You have to say the year. Is that a point? What do you get a point for? What do you get a point for?
You will get a point for that. This is from 2007 to 2016, not counting the impending sweeps we are currently witnessing.
You get a point for the year,
Point for the year,
point for the series score, or whatever,
4 points can be earned.
and the two teams.
The two teams, yeah. Who won the two
Oh,
teams,
fuck.
score, and who. So,
Okay.
we will start
Good Lord.
with you, Supersonics, Travis Prince.
2000.
And I'm assuming this is NBA, not NHL.
NBA.
All right, I can get it to you. If it was NHL, I would have not gotten very many points.
That's why we're not doing the NHL.
2012. Miami beat Indiana in 7.
You're going to get 3 of the 4. That was a 7-game series in 2013.
It was not in. Okay. 2013.
Charlie?
In the 2016 Western Conference Finals, the Golden State Warriors defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder 4-3.
He's got it, folks.
Let's see. 2000. Oh, hell. I will say. Was it last year? Who made it last year? I'll say Cleveland swept Atlanta last year.
Same situation you just had.
1
You
year.
have the right series and the score. You're 1 year off. That
That's
series occurred in 2015.
So I try to guess who Cleveland. I can try to guess who Cleveland defeated last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, but not in 2015.
Right. Yep.
All right, I don't remember who it was, so I'll guess. But I know last year, 2016, Cleveland defeated somebody. I will guess it was the Wizards, 4-0.
You will get. I'll give you 2 there. The correct year, and that the Cavs won the series.
When can we cross off years?
They played the Raptors. They won in 6.
Oh, that's right.
So last year's
The
done.
Raptors.
Last year's done.
We're tied 6-6 after 2 rounds.
2 rounds. 20 more to go. This goes to 2007.
2007 onward.
Well, say 2000. 2011? I don't know.
What do you got?
2011, Miami beat Indiana in 6.
You will get 2 there. 2011, the Heat beat your Chicago Bulls.
That's right.
5 series.
5.
2 points for Crins there.
I'm trying to get. There's 2 I can think of. I'm trying to remember which year was which. I'm gonna guess it was 2008 in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Boston Celtics beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in 7 games, I believe.
Charlie will get 2. 2008, Celtics beat the Pistons. That was in 6 games.
Pistons. That.
It is interesting. I think people think I'll just say this because it's not on here. That when LeBron played his final game with the Cavaliers, they beat by Boston. That game was in the Eastern Conference Finals. It was not.
0.
So,
2011, Spurs.
No wonder he wanted to get out of Cleveland.
2011, the Spurs won the West. They played, let's say they played, I don't know. Let's say they won it in 6 games against Utah.
every portion of that answer is incorrect.
Good. Spurs didn't win it in 2011.
Spurs didn't win it in 2011. The series did not
That's right.
end in 6 games. And
They didn't play the Jazz. No Jazz.
So I don't know if I should leave that one out there or just cross off 2011. How do you want me to do that?
I don't know.
I will cross off 2011.
Okay.
I will say it's no longer available.
Okay.
Um,
Good.
2011, the Dallas Mavericks defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder
That's
in
right.
5 games.
Good.
Charlie?
Good.
All right, I'm going to attempt the 2007 Eastern Conference Finals,
Mm-hmm.
where I believe that was the year where they tried to match up 2 superstars playing in the finals, and it turned out that LeBron James did not play in the finals because they lost to the Orlando Magic and Dwight Howard. And it was like, I don't think it was that close. I think the Magic won in 5.
What year did you think this was?
07?
2007? I could be 2 or 3 years off.
You are. I will give you 2 points here. The Magic beating the Cavs. That occurred in 2009. It was a 6-game series. So,
Oh man, that was way more recent than I thought it was then.
2000.
well, I'm leaving the 2007 series out there. I'm taking 2009 out.
2009 West. 2009 West.
Yes.
Lakers won.
Yep.
They beat Utah in 6.
You're going to get 3 there.
They didn't beat Utah.
What other Northwest Division team did they play?
Sonics.
know that.
Utah, Oklahoma City, no. Portland, no. Wolves, no. So the only one's left. Nuggets.
What? The Denver Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
2009, yes.
We're gonna trade you. Carmelo, we're trading you.
I did not remember that the Nuggets played in that.
I did not either.
What year?
Have we done the 2014 Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I will do that one. I will get most of it wrong. But in 2014, the Spurs defeated somebody. I will guess that who would have been good in the West at that point in time?
Eastwood?
I don't know. I will guess that it was the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games.
You will get two points there. San Antonio Spurs, 2014 Western Conference champions. They won in 6 games. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Can we get a year's update here?
Yes, in the East we have 2007, 10, 12, and 14 left. In the West, there's 07, 08, 2010, 12, 13, and 15 remaining.
Okay.
Okay, East, 7, 10, 12, and 14. And what for the West?
For the West, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, and 15. Charlie leads after 5 rounds of 12 and 11.
It's a barn burner.
It is a barn burner.
All right, let's see here. 2012 in the West, the Spurs won. Nope, take that back. 2012 in the West, Oklahoma City won. They beat the Spurs in 6.
He's got it, folks. He's got it. That was a good correction, of course. Travis Krins, all 4 points.
The strike year, the strike shortened year.
Yep.
Lockout year. 9-0 Angels in the third. 9-0.
I will
Nice.
attempt to guess. Oh, wait, hold on. 2013 in the Western Conference Finals, where the Spurs would have defeated somebody because they played the Heat in the finals. So let's say the Spurs defeated. Let's say they got revenge and they beat the Thunder in 5 games.
You're going to get 2 again. 2013 Spurs won. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies, picking up a
The
sweep
Grizzle.
at the Grindhouse.
The Grindhouse.
I do not remember the Grizzlies in the Western Conference.
When are we going to get a Memphis-Denver final here, for Christ's sake? Come on.
One of these teams.
And I say this in sports this time of year at times, but how are the Timberwolves and Minnesota and Memphis in the Western Conference? When I look at them on a map, I think, yep, West is where those guys are. That's where they belong.
You can
Hell, let's put the Bulls in the West also.
you can at least make the argument that the Wolves are west of the Mississippi River. You literally cannot argue that with Memphis. They are east of the
Memphis is
Mississippi.
way worse.
Yes. So
There we go. 2015 West, we go. Golden State won it that year. Let's say they beat some dog shit team in 6 games. Let's say the dog shit team was wasn't the Spurs, wasn't the Clippers, Oklahoma City probably not. Some dog shit of a team. Let's say I don't know, Utah, since I say Utah for everybody else fucking answers. 15, 6 games, Warriors beat Utah.
you're getting 2 points again. And 2's your number here. Warriors did win. They did play a dog shit team. They beat the Rockets, Houston Rockets, just 2 years ago. We're in the Western Conference Finals, and that series, a 5-game series.
Series.
Appropriately so.
Good.
Charles.
All right. Judging by where I lived in Brookings and who I was roommates with in 2008, the 2008 Western Conference Finals, the Lakers went on to play the Celtics. So the Lakers beat somebody in the Western Conference Finals. Let's say they beat the Spurs in 6 games. Lakers over Spurs in 6.
No, 8?
3 out of 4, Charlie Hildebrand. The Lakers over the Spurs in 2008. It was a 5-game series.
What's the
You're
score
all
here?
clear, folks. 17-17.
Fucking Christ.
I was always so upset when it was the Lakers and the Spurs because I don't like either of them. I'm just always like, I don't want either of these teams to win.
We have just 3 series remaining. We have 5 series, 3 in the East, 2 in the West. That's that.
What is that? Let's take a gander here at the old schedule here.
Wait, there's 3 in the East? I've got 4. One of them
I've got 4 in the East.
not marked off.
Oh, yeah, 4. So there's 6.
7, 10, 12, and 14
Yep. Okay.
in the West.
And left in the West.
Let's fuck here.
It is Travis Crin's turn.
East 2014. Miami over Indiana in 7.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. The Heat over Pacers in 6 in 2014.
When in doubt, Heat Pacers.
Heat Pacers was a very hotly contested series for back-to-back years. We seem to forget about that. People forget.
That was their toughest test. The Indiana.
Somehow. Charlie?
We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and I'm trying to think of some of these. I can remember like a team that won the finals, but I can't remember
Who they
who
played?
they played in the NBA finals. So I'm like, oh well, I know the Lakers won this year. I don't remember who they played though, and the West is gone, so I got to think of the East version of it.
That's why.
So let's see.
I believe this is question difficult.
7 was that.
I'm either going to do 2010 or 2012 in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It's going to be based off of where I lived at the time and who I watched it with. I think 2010, the Celtics defeated, I don't know who they would have beaten in the East.
2000.
2010, the Celtics beat the Cavaliers in 7 games.
2010, you're getting 2 points here. Celtics beat the Magic. It was a 6-game series.
Yeah, 4 to go. What's the score?
20-19, Travis Crin.
Fucking shit.
You lead.
All right, 2012 in the East. 2012,
Mm-hmm.
Miami won. 2012. Miami won in 6 games versus Boston.
3 out of 4. 2012, Miami over Boston, 7-game series.
Lots of 7-gamers for LeBron.
Yes, although he hasn't had one since the 2013.
He had one last year. In the technically, in the East.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try the 2007 West here. In 2007, I know either. In 06 and 07, one of those years in the NBA Finals, Dwayne Wade and the Heat beat the Mavericks, and the other year the Spurs won. So I'm trying to think which year, which team it would have been. I'm going to say 07 is the Spurs winning. Who would they have played? 07 in the West. I don't know. Let's say the Spurs beat the Mavericks in 5 games in the Western Conference Finals.
Charlie Hildebrand is going to get 3 points here. The part he missed is what's going to make it funny. Because what team have you kept guessing, Travis Crin's, throughout
Utah?
this exercise?
the Utah? Spurs beat Utah?
Yes. The Spurs beat Utah. In 5 games. That's the only spot on here where the Jazz were involved. 5-game series, though. Charlie did get that part right. So we are neck and neck going into this final round, 23-22. We have the 2007 Eastern Finals, or we have 2010 West.
2000. 2010 West, Lakers over Spurs in 6.
3 out of 4, Travis Krins.
Fortunate.
Lakers over the Suns.
Fortunate.
6.
Fortunate. Oh, I don't even know the fuck the Spurs. In 07, the Spurs beat somebody.
2007 East, Charlie. We have to get,
He needs to get all 4 right to
I
tie.
need to get off for. You want to know something fun? Something just clicked in my brain.
Please.
On vacation
Please get this
in
right.
Italy,
Please get
I
this
missed the Western or the Eastern Conference Finals. We got home after getting like 3 hours of sleep, traveling on the plane. Was so excited to watch Game 7 between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
But got home, had been awake for like, I don't know, 35 straight hours or so. Was going to watch it, couldn't do it. Slept for like 12 hours, woke up the next day, found out that LeBron went nuts in the 4th quarter and
There it is,
overtime.
folks.
The echo's back. But while you're fixing that, I will say that the defeated the Detroit Pistons in 7 games.
This is a terrific story, Charlie. Amazingly well told.
It better be right too, motherfucker. It better be right.
That series was a 6-game series.
Really?
Oh no!
Oh, you missed it by a
Oh,
game.
no.
Charlie Hildebrand comes 1 point short here.
Wow.
He had everything else correct. It was
Casey at the bat, I pointed, except instead of striking out, I just hit it deep.
It's an RBI double, and it scores 2, but you're down 4. So
I got thrown out trying to stretch it into 3.
tremendous effort here. But yes, that was the beginning of LeBron's reign that he's had in the Western Conference for most of that time.
This was a great back and forth, I gotta say. This was
Terrific job. Terrific.
Good.
Their final score. Travis Green.
I was so excited because I kept looking at that and I'm thinking, I don't remember anything in 07 in the East. And I was just like, what was I doing in like June of 07? And I was like, hold on.
Hold on.
I remember all this now.
What was the final tally? 29?
26-25.
Was it?
26-25. Travis Green.
Well, there we go. The Nathan Stacker in
It
his
was a
style.
little game where we kept going for 2 and not converting.
That's right. Very good. Charlie's got a trivia question here coming up next. Baseball notes. Texas Rangers had won 10 in a row before they lost to Detroit yesterday. So Texas is back in the mix. Houston maybe getting swept by Cleveland, but Houston's still the best team in baseball right now. Colorado doing fine. Arizona doing fine. Mr. Hildebrand, how about I say this here? National League East doesn't look good outside of Washington. National League Central, a bit of a mess right now with Milwaukee leading the deal. What if I propose to you Colorado, Arizona, and the Dodgers? One wins the division, the other 2 play in the wild card game. That's what I think is going to happen.
Colorado, Rockies, Arizona Diamondbacks, Los Angeles Dodgers.
One wins the division, the other 2 play in the playoff, the wild card.
I like it. I think it sounds very reasonable as of May 21st.
Marcus is NL East. No teams are coming out of there besides Washington.
I mean,
Count the Mets out.
I mean, the Mets
Mets are
are
dead.
in disarray. Marlins, no.
I mean
Yeah.
the Central. Would you say the Cubs and Cardinals are the only legitimate playoff teams in the Central, even though the Brewers are playing well? It's all up to the
Yeah,
West.
That's fair. Brewers have put a few things together. They have an inordinate amount of wins through a month and a half of the season, but I don't feel comfortable enough in the long term to be worth the shit. So feels like those are the two. Feels like most of the playoff teams are going to be out of those two divisions.
I think Colorado and Arizona is good for the long haul here the rest of the way. I think they can win 85 games. I think that's going to put you in the mix here. Twins playing 3 games today because every game this week's got rained out, so they got to make them up today. Playing at 12, 3, and 9.
By the way, it's supposed to rain basically every day they're in Baltimore too. So
good. Hope they have to play a triple header. If Jose Barrios is Jose Barrios, what does this do for your expectations for this team going into the summer months? Because it raises my expectations a lot.
I don't know if it raises my expectations.
What are your expectations right now? Mine is a 500 team right now. 500 team.
Is that with Barrios in there now?
Right now, I think they can win 81, 82. I think they can be what they were 2 years ago, winning 83 games.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I might have felt that way regardless. I mean, I think that, Barrios is probably going to be worth, if he's pitching like this, he's going to be worth 3, 4, 5 wins maybe. So that's fairly significant. I think they maybe go from being, an 80-win team to being 85, 86 wins. Yeah, what does that do for potentially in a playoff situation? I don't know. But that's a good situation for them to find themselves in. I'd rather be in the 85, 86 win boat than under 500. So I think he's been terrific, and it's very nice to see that the type of pitcher we thought he could maybe be at. So that's.
So you're telling me they have a prospect who they called up and he's good right away? Wow.
Well, not right away. I mean.
He was not good last year for a half dozen.
You can't necessarily discount that, but it's cool that it's working out. I mean, it's cool that this is he's doing what people wanted him to do. He's got the confidence. He had the 11 strikeout game earlier this week, and that's awesome.
I gave our friend Buxton a June 1st deadline to hit 200. We're coming up on that here, about 10 days. So when the NBA Finals start, he's hitting 174. I don't think he's going to make it.
I don't think it's going to matter, though, to be honest, because he's been a lot more productive member of society in the last month.
Are you sure? You sure?
Yeah. I don't think you can argue that. He's been exactly what other than the hitting, he's done the defensive
Other than
stuff.
the hitting, yes.
Other than half of his game, he's done what he needs to do. So he's shown signs of improvement. I think for a lot of people that was really all you needed to see. You needed to see some sort of. Let me finish. You need to see some sort of
life,
proof that he belonged.
Some
and
life.
I think he's shown some of that. He's got to be better still. They need him to be, closer to 250 than 150. But
are you talking about on base percentage or his average?
I'm talking about batting average.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what his on base percentage
260 for Christ's sake.
260?
Yeah.
Yeah. These guys. He appears to be taking better at bats. That's good. The defensive side of the game has not been an issue. And you want his speed on the bases, and we're getting a lot of that too. So this is a good position for them to be in.
Sano's killing folks. Goddamn killer.
Sano has been terrific. He's unquestionably, I think, I guess you could maybe pull out and see. Well, I guess you can't say unquestionably because you got Irv Santana.
He's our best player.
Miguel Sano?
Yeah.
I was going to say your team's all-star.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. He should. Yeah. He should be.
The way, but you don't know. I mean, you don't know if Irv keeps this up, he's going to be in consider. Maybe they're both going to be on the all-star team at this rate. So
I don't think Irv will make the all-star team.
I don't think Irv's going to keep this up. So
even if he does, even if his ERA is in the low 2s, 2.5, I think there are others out there that will take up the dozen or so pitching spots. A couple closers, Chris Sale, Keuchel. I think he'll be left out. I'd like to see him there, but I think he'd be left out. So
If he's in the All-Star game, that probably helps with trying to trade him.
sure. Watched a little bit of the Angels-Mets yesterday.
It's a shame.
Oh, that was all right. You had Joe Buck and Alex Rodriguez. And apparently A-Rod's first game he ever did was a couple of nights ago in Kansas City, or with the Kansas City team.
And a lot of sex stuff written in his notebook.
He did. I like John Smoltz. I'm fine with John Smoltz being the number one guy. He should be. Alex Rodriguez I can't put him no lower than third for game analyst right now based on me listening to him for one game. I thought he was A+.
Who was second?
I like John Smoltz. He may be number 2. A-Rod may be number 2. What I want from a guy is tell me shit I don't know. Tell me shit only you're going to know. And he's talking about technical stuff, and he was talking to the Mets batting coach, because the Mets batting coach was the same batting coach he had with the Yankees. So he knew him, and he was talking about him, and he was talking about what he was doing with the Mets and certain guys' swings, and I thought that was really good. And since nationally televised baseball is not much of a thing anymore, I would say A-Rod and John Smoltz, number 1, number 2 for me.
I would agree. I didn't see the broadcast the other day. I didn't see the one yesterday either. But I would at least make the argument that
you've seen him on the desk.
I've seen him on the desk, and he was good last year in the World Series. I think from the national color commentary guy, I want some proof that he was there, some proof that he's put in a little legwork to learn a little something, and he knows what he's talking about. Technically, I don't think you can argue A-Rod's got an impeccable reputation as a hitter. He knows what the hell he's talking about. And, the fact that he's put in some time to at least share a few stories with the fans and break it down, that's all you can really ask for. So I'm glad to hear that. I think doing this Fox thing is probably the best case for his public persona rehabilitation, or whatever you would call it. And I would also say that I think Fox will be heading to a 3-man booth very soon. I think this is probably priming the pump, so to speak, for a 3-man booth in the World Series with Smoltz, Buck, and Rodriguez.
I don't know if we touched.
I invented that phrase, by the way, priming the pump.
Good.
You guys all know that.
Is the echo back?
Yeah.
Echo's back for me. Wow. Wow, this is
You're
rare.
echoing, but we are not, which is usually
Rare.
the reverse.
How is this happening? Australia go the other way. Wow. Charlie.
I was just going to piggyback off Traxler's point that it's funny that, I don't know if A-Rod was super hated. I don't remember if he was hated when he left the Mariners to go to the Rangers, but he was definitely hated when he went to the Yankees.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him actually do a game, but I've seen him in the broadcast, or not the broadcast booth, but just,
Pre-game, post-game.
on TV at a table, with that stuff. And he's good at that. It sounds like everyone likes him doing that. And, hopefully he's good doing broadcast stuff too. But, it's funny that, he was one of the most hated guys in baseball. And now where you're going to a job where likability is even more important. That everyone's like, I don't know. I guess he's not so bad after all. I kind of like him now.
None of us were alive when Pete Rose was playing, or at least alive to watch him. But I don't think people really liked Pete Rose when he was playing either, to a certain extent. I know there were people who did. And now he's on TV.
I love Pete Rose.
He's definitely a love it or hate it type guy.
He is great.
For the most part, I love Pete Rose. Sometimes I think he needs to slow down in the talking department, and he needs to unbutton the top button on his goddamn shirts. But other than that, I think he does a good job. Or wear a tie. You got to do one or the other.
I don't know how much we touched on it. Romo going to the booth and Phil Simms going to the pregame show. Nate Burleson's going to be on the pregame show, for Christ's sake.
Tony Gonzalez is going to be over on Fox. Doesn't sound like he's going to be on the main pregame, but he's going to be on their little pregame that they do. So we'll trade. No more Solomon Wilcots. Can you
What?
believe it?
What?
That's right. Solomon Wilcots out. James Lofton in at CBS on the games.
Solomon. What happened
If
to
you've
Solomon?
ever heard James Lofton on the radio,
He's good.
It probably won't be the worst move.
He's good.
He's good.
Charlie, what do you think of
So
Jake?
if you said Smoltz is your number one guy, Rodriguez is your number two guy. If baseball was going to have a third guy, would it be possibly Jay Cutler?
He's at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's good at baseball. I don't know why. He wouldn't be. What do you make of Jake Cutler? He's going to be a Fox guy?
Yeah, he's going to be basically in the number 2 or number 3 slot.
Charlie, what do you make of both Fox and CBS taking quarterbacks right off the field? Most expect Romo to be good, so he's given the number 1 spot. Jay Cutler's a head scratcher. We'll wait and see what he does, but he would not be somebody that you would have pegged to be a media type.
I got a hot take right here. I got a hot take coming.
Okay, Jay Cutler, Charlie. Where does he fit in?
I putting them both together, I think it's a shrewd move to take quarterbacks who were at least to a degree successful. I mean, I think we can agree that Romo was a lot better than Cutler. And for all the crap that Cutler takes, a lot of it valid. It wasn't like he was just like awful. He had moments where he was awful, but he also had moments where he was fine. But I think it's smart to get guys that played for a while immediately when they're done. But I'm incredibly surprised, more so with Cutler than Romo, that they're bumping him up so high to start with, that they're not like, okay,
Here's Dick
you're
Stockton.
going to do Jaguars Titans because if you screw this up, nobody's going to care because nobody's going to be watching that game. And then if through 1 year, depending on how good you are and how much you improve, then we'll move you up to the big spot because, obviously you guys can do this for 2 or 3 decades now, maybe not 3 decades, but for a while then. But Romo's starting higher than Cutler, but I mean, like you said, to a degree that makes sense because it seems like he's more polished and more friendly and sort of less aloof than Cutler. But I'm just really surprised that they're just like, yep, all you top guys, you're doing that Giants. I guess that might be
Cowboys.
NBC, not CBS. Yeah, you're going to be doing the game that everyone's
Packers,
tuning into.
Vikings.
If you say one thing wrong, they're going to rip you on Twitter. Like, not that really matters, but yeah. So
Like your
it's
Mike Goldberg.
interesting.
Like your Mike Goldberg calling Vikings games. What's our hot take?
I think Cutler will be good, and I think Romo will be not as good. He won't be good enough for the number 1 spot. I think people had kind of put out there that it would make a lot more sense if CBS would have maybe stretched this out over a year or 2. Now, I realize that basically if you bring him on with the intent of him eventually being the number 1 guy, you leave Sims or whoever's the number 1 guy sort of twisting the wind. But I think Tony Romo is going to get a lot of shit this fall that he doesn't necessarily deserve. It's a hard job. It's hard to please everybody. I think he'll be in trouble when he's got to do a Cowboys game, and he's probably doing the Thanksgiving game this year for the when the Cowboys play. So that's a challenge, I think, because I'm not sure Tony Romo is going to be terribly honest with us, at least from the start.
You have to get these players when they're right off the field before the CTE sets in when they're 50. So
That's true. On the other hand, I mean, Jay Cutler has shown, if there's one thing he's shown in his professional career, is that he doesn't always give a damn.
he doesn't give a shit.
That could be kind of fun. That could be that if he takes his job seriously and at the same time is honest and forthright and really good at this.
Keep that cockswagger bravado.
Exactly. Yes.
Is he going to smoke in the booth?
How can we say that won't be the case?
Keep the windows open.
No, but he's going to do LSD.
Good.
I heard somebody say that he doesn't.
I don't know. I kind of agree with Traxler. I look forward to the Jay Cutler being like, yeah, I don't know what the hell they were doing there. That was really stupid. I don't know why they decided to punt it. They needed points. they should fire everybody. They're morons.
It's like
Where with Romo, I don't know this. I'm speculating. I would imagine Romo would be a little more, because I've heard a lot of people say this, that for the former players, all these guys, the first couple of years, they played against, so they know things about them. But they struggle, like, taking the kids' gloves off and, like, critiquing or criticizing players that they knew or played with, where I would imagine Jay Cutler will have less of a problem with that than Romo will.
Can you imagine? I heard something or read that his first preseason game will be a Bears game for Fox, and that should just be great. I may have to block out some time to watch that. I mean, I just think if he's doing a Bears game, he's not going to hold back. He doesn't like them. I mean, it should be fairly. It might be a little awkward in that production meeting with Joe Trubisky, but I think other than that, it could be quite a bit of fun.
Is Tony Romo going to be the Mike and Mike of analysts?
I feel like that could happen.
Charlie Hildebrand has a trivia question. It's been built up pretty good.
Well, you do this
Probably too much built up.
I got to go after this.
All right.
All right, it's taking multiple things that everyone's done so far. Since we are in summer movie season, it's sports movie trivia.
Good.
This was made for 3 people, so I had 15 and a tiebreaker. So since there's 2 of you, there will just be 16. You pick a number between 1 and 16. The question will be worth 1 to 3 points. If you get it right, you get points.
Nice.
Some of them also have a bonus question worth 1 point. I will leave this up to you guys. Do you want to only get the bonus question if you get the question right, or just get the bonus question regardless?
Regardless.
All right, that works for me. Since you know what, we'll let Traxler start, I guess. So, pick a number between 1 and 16. I guess the only other thing, sports used in these movies. There's 5 baseball ones, 3 football ones, 3 basketball ones, 2 golf, and 1 apiece for hockey, pool, and boxing. Any number 1 and 16.
Okay.
Pool like billiards, not pool like swimming.
I will take number 15.
Number 15 is a 1-point question from the 1993 movie Rudy. Rudy gets a sack on the final play of his final game. Name the team he got a sack against.
Georgia Tech.
That is correct. There is also a bonus question for 1 more point. Running back Jamie O'Hara has a few arguments with Rudy in the movie. Name the actor who plays O'Hara.
Vince Vaughn.
That is also correct. Traxler 2 points.
Can I also answer the third part of that question? And I know you don't know it, but I will give both the question and the answer. Was Rudy offsides? Yes, he was offsides.
Does Charlie cheer for Georgia Tech every time that movie's played? Yes, he does. Travis, you're up.
Number 1.
Number 1. This is a 3-point question. The ones with more points are usually a little bit harder. The 1984 movie, The Natural. Early in the movie, a tree is split in half by lightning. Roy Hobbs, played by Robert Redford, carves a baseball bat out of the tree and carves what name on it? He names the bat and carves the name into it. What name for the baseball bat?
I've not seen the movie. I would say Golden Boy.
What'd you say?
Golden Boy?
You were closer than I thought you were going to be for not seeing it. It's Wonder Boy.
Oh, not bad. Some Wonder Bread.
So, no points, but that was close.
Wow.
Traxler, you're up.
Number 10.
Number 10. This movie was remade, but we're doing the original. The 1976 movie, The Bad News Bears. For 3 points, can you name the sponsor or type of company that sponsors the Little League team in the movie, The Bad News Bears?
It's a bail bond company. I think it was Chico's Bail Bonds. Is that right?
That is correct. Chico's Bail Bonds. 3 points for Traxler.
Chico's.
No bonus question for that one, but with that 3 points, out to a 5-0 lead. Travis Krenza.
Captain 11.
Number 11 is the 1989 baseball movie Field of Dreams. This is a quote where you have to fill in the blank, but it's sort of awkward to say because the blank is the very first word of the quote. So here, Shoeless Joe Jackson says, blank wanted to play, but none of us could stand the son of a bitch when we were alive, so we told him to stick it. What Hall of Fame player is he referring to?
Ty Cobb.
That is correct. On the board, 2 points.
Since Ty Cobb was an asshole, I assumed it was Ty Cobb.
Yeah, Ty Cobb was the son of a bitch.
Yep. Back to Traxler.
Number 8.
Number 8. The 1988 baseball movie Bull Durham for 2 points. Kevin Costner plays minor league catcher Crash Davis. Davis is on the verge of breaking what minor league record?
I have not seen Bull Durham.
Oh my heavens! Oh my heavens!
I'm being honest. I think it's most games in the minor league.
It is not that. It is a most career home runs by a minor league player.
Okay.
And it's used throughout the movie that he does not want to break it because it means he was good enough to be in the minor league for a long time, not good enough to stick around in the majors. I have seen it. A lot of people love it. I thought it was fine. I did not think it was fantastic, but
It was no little big league. I tell you that much.
That's right. You got some questions about goddamn fictional Minnesota Twins team? Right?
Number 9.
Number 9, 1980 Caddyshack for 1 point.
Okay.
A candy bar is thrown into a pool to make it look like someone defecated in the pool. Name the brand of candy bar used.
It's a Baby Ruth is what it was. Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth is correct. 1 point for Travis Krenz.
It's a good
That
question.
moves the score to 5-3. Back to Traxler.
I will take number 16.
For the win!
Number 16 was the tiebreaker question, so this will be worth 3 points.
Okay.
It is harder as a regular question than as a tiebreaker because it was just going to be who's closest.
Wow.
Somebody from Harvard watched the movie Space Jam, compiled a box score based solely off what's shown on screen. Now, granted, some things it doesn't work out perfectly because there's stretch where they miss things because it's a movie. But
Yes, of course.
in the box score shown on screen, how many points does Michael Jordan score against the Monstars?
I remember seeing this article, and now I'm trying to think of what it was. The final score was definitely in the hundreds, and we know that Michael Jordan didn't score every point. I'm going to say 93 points.
It was not quite that many. On screen, he is shown scoring 44 points.
Okay. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I think it works better as the tiebreaker question than just a guess the answer right question. All right, back to Krenz.
With number 12. Number 12.
Number 12 is a little different. It's the entire Rocky series.
Oh, fuck me.
It's a 2-point question.
Never seen it.
How many movies has Sylvester Stallone played Rocky Balboa in?
I believe there are 6 Rocky movies, or thereabout. There's Rocky's 5. Then there's another Rocky 1. And I believe there's the one where he's the old bastard with Robert De Niro, where I assume he's playing Rocky. I don't know. He's playing a boxer. I'll say 7.
The funny thing, the logic you used to get there, you had some incorrect statements, but you are correct that there have been 7 Rocky movies.
Wow.
The bonus question, can you name the 7 Rocky movies for 1 extra point?
Rocky 1 through 5, is that 5 of them? Does that count?
That is the first 5 correct. I will not make you say Rocky 2, Rocky 3, yada, yada, yada.
This
The
last
first
one...
5 are just numbered.
This last one was, I don't even know what the fuck it was. It was with the black kid. Was it Creed? That was the name of the Creed? What was one of them?
Yep, you've got 6 of them. There's one other hole you have to get the name.
Is it between 5 and?
Never mind. You got the 2. It is the 6th movie you need the title of. You've got 2 points already. This is to take them completely.
I'll give you a hint. Don't overthink it.
Rocky 6?
It's not
Oh,
that.
Rocky
It's
Returns or something? Or no. It's just Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa is the name of the movie. Going on?
All right, time back to Traxler.
What's the score here?
5-all.
5.
I'll take number 2.
Number 2, a 3-point question. Remember the Titans from 2000?
That's a good one.
A movie with lots of racial strife. In one of the first games the team plays, a white defensive player is burned on a touchdown pass and eventually loses his job to a black player. Can you name the actor who played the white player that got burned for the touchdown? He was not famous then. He has gone on to more fame and success now.
Ryan Gosling.
That is correct for 3 points. And the one bonus question for 1 point. Can you name the black actor who replaced him?
His actual name?
The actor's name.
I don't think
his character's name.
I don't think I've got
I think it was Black Scrubs guy, but that's all I know.
It was Donald Faison, who is Turk in Scrubs.
Black Scrubs
So
guy.
Traxler does not get the bonus question, but he does get 3 points. Take an 8-5 lead.
Can I just completely hijack this trivia game for a second? I watched the FX O.J. Simpson series. Binge watched it on Netflix the last few days. Like all shows, I didn't watch it when it happened. But Cuba Gooding Jr. is O.J. Simpson in there. And then I was like, in the middle of the 8th episode, I'm like, oh yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. was Radio in that movie Radio. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird because he looks the same. Like he should have gained weight to play OJ, right? And he did.
Is it any good?
It was worth watching. Yeah, I watched it and it was good. Juice. And so now, because I love the where you just call it, there's like a 3-minute clip on
Juice.
Where you're just calling him Juice the whole time. I have to go back and watch that because it'll probably be funnier now that I've seen the whole show.
I watched some of it. I could not get over and playing the Kardashian guy.
Juice.
I was uncomfortable in like the first 4 episodes how much the Kardashian, non-Robert Kardashians were in that.
I can't imagine they were an important part in real life at all.
They weren't. They couldn't have been.
What the hell are they in it for?
Huh?
What the hell are they in it for?
There's like a scene where Robert Kardashian it's Father's Day and he's going with his kids and to dinner and they're talking about it.
He's barely in the goddamn OJ documentary. He wasn't even, because he's dead, but he wasn't even shown barely at all.
I think that was definitely a
TV made thing.
With the FX series that I think, definitely didn't happen in real life as much. But
Jesus. Noted. Number 13.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Number 13 for Travis. 1986 movie about billiards, The Color of Money.
It's not great.
Which I'm sure you have seen multiple times. But it is worth 3 points.
Watching it right now.
The bright side is this is just, you don't have to see the movie to take a solid guess at this. Paul Newman plays aging pool hustler, Fast Eddie Felsen. Felsen takes a small-time pool hustler named Vincent Loria under his wing. Can you name the actor who played Vincent Loria? This is much like the, remember the Titans one? I don't know how famous this guy was at the time. He is certainly more famous now.
Was it Tom Cruise?
You are correct that it is Tom Cruise for 3 points.
Good.
The bonus question. The movie is a sequel to another movie starring Paul Newman from 1961. Do you know the name of the 1961 movie?
No.
It
Gone
is,
with the Wind.
The Hustler.
The Hustler.
The Hustler.
Good.
Because he's a pool hustler. But Crins didn't get the bonus, but does get the 3-point regular question. So let's see. It is back to Traxler. There are 7 questions left, it looks like.
I'll take number
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, and 14. Number 5, 1 point, 1992's White Men Can't Jump.
What number was this?
This was 5.
5. Okay.
Woody Harrelson plays streetball hustler Billy Doyle. Billy's girlfriend Gloria goes on a TV game show midway through the movie. Can you name that show?
Jeopardy.
This
Correct for 1 point.
is Jeopardy.
Traxler takes a 9-8 lead. Back to Corinne's.
Number 3.
Number 3, 1989 Major League for 1 point.
Good.
Wesley Snipes plays leadoff hitter Willie Mays Tays. During spring training, he routinely hits pop-outs during batting practice. Complete the quote from manager Lou Brown that he says to Mays Tays. You may run like Mays,
but you hit like shit.
like blank.
You hit like shit. It's great.
That is correct.
It's a great quote.
1 point bonus.
It's a great movie.
What does he say in the edited/censored for TV version? You may run like Hayes, but you hit like blank.
I run like Hayes, but you may hit like. Trash?
His sister.
Wow, I went with that.
I've seen that, and it didn't stick with me in
His
how dumb
sister.
that is.
Wow, you gotta do better than that. Crap.
What question was
3?
that? Okay.
That was 3.
Garbage? Garbage would have worked, I think. I don't know.
I'll take number 12.
Number 12. Oh, whoops, sorry. There is not number 12. I forgot to mark that off.
We've done
That was
12.
the Rocky question.
I will take number 14 then.
Number 14.
Brad Johnson.
The 2004 movie Miracle. Spoiler alert, in the movie, the Americans defeat the Russians.
What?
It wasn't in the gold medal game, though. Who did the U.S. beat in the final game to win the gold medal? 2-point question.
Finland.
Finland is correct. Breaks the tie. Traxler leads 11-9.
Trivia questions are all tight today. All tight.
They threw a ball at Buxton that was literally
Not close.
12 feet in the air. I don't know, 10 feet in the air.
Well above his
He
head.
still struck
It's
out,
cool.
so it doesn't matter.
It's cool when we put it on the pitch track, though.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Okay, there are 3 questions left. 2 of them have bonus questions. Unfortunately, Krins did not pick one of the
Good.
bonus questions.
Good.
Fortunately, though, it is worth 3 points.
Whoa, it's a big one for the lead, folks.
1986 Hoosiers.
Not great. Not,
Midway through the season, a player with a great jump shot joins the team. Name the character with the great jump shot that ends up being the best player for Hoosiers.
I only know, I've never seen the movie. I only know one player from the movie. His name is Jimmy Chetwood. So that's the only thing I can guess.
Like Kirk Gibson in the World Series, it's 3 points.
That's really the only character you need to know. Other than
1, 2, 3. Moving Krins into a 12-11 lead over Traxler.
Like
There
I'm-
is 1 question left for each of them.
It's like I'm watching the Rockies and Reds
Number
game.
6, number 7, and both of them have bonus points also. So
This
you're
is the
really
last
down the
round.
wire.
This is the last round right here.
I'll take number 7.
I'll take number
Number
6.
7 for 2 points. 2004 Friday Night Lights. The
Okay.
movie, not the TV series.
Yep.
The Permian Panthers played Dallas Carter in the state championship game. What stadium in the movie was the championship game played at?
Played at the Astrodome.
That is correct for 2 points. To move into a 1-point lead, the bonus question, not in the movie, but in real life, Permian actually lost to Dallas Carter in the semifinals in an outside stadium during a heavy rainstorm. Can you name the stadium that the game was actually played in real life?
Gumbo.
I think this is just going to be a guess because I don't know it to be for sure. I think they played at Rice. I don't know what the stadium at Rice is named.
It was Memorial Stadium at the University of Texas
Bart.
in Austin. So no bonus point.
I remember looking that up. Didn't do me any good.
Travis trails by 1. Unfortunately, question 6 is a 1-point question. So if you get that or the bonus question right but miss the other, we are in a tie. I will have to come up with the tiebreaker. If you get both of them wrong or both of them right, though, then it's irrelevant. Number 6. The whole thing that started this whole thing off in the first place. 1996, Happy Gilmore.
It's a good movie. I've seen it. It's a good movie.
In the movie, Happy Gilmore starts golfing to earn enough money to save his grandmother's house from the IRS.
Yep.
He gets a large sum of money when he signs an endorsement deal with this company.
Nice.
Subway.
That is correct to tie.
For the win!
Bonus for the win. In the nursing home his grandmother stays at, there is a sadistic manager/orderly. Can you name the actor who plays the manager/orderly?
Ben Stiller.
That is correct. Travis Krenz wins the movie trivia by a score of 14-13.
We didn't get many wrong
We had
around
2
here.
trivia questions that went down to the very final go. Photo finish, just like the previous.
Very good. Lounge 218, forever known as the best trivia episode of all times. And we only had 2 folks.
In your face, stacking.
Suck it! Anything else coming down the pike? Marcus, what do we got going on here? Got baseball coming up next weekend. Doesn't matter to you or anybody else around here, but what do we got? Amateur baseball, that's about it.
Heating up. Amateur baseball heating up. Alexandria Angels might not lose again this year. 32 straight wins dating back to last season, the 2015 postseason. Was at state tennis yesterday. Got state track next weekend. Baseball playoffs, prep baseball playoffs in between. Yeah, it's a busy time of the year, and then in 2 weeks there won't be anything going on, pretty much.
What do you think about Mitchell Roosevelt tomorrow?
I think it'll be good. I think Mitchell. I think regardless of what they have to do pitching wise, I think they'll be fine.
Briggs
Russ-
Havlick pitching game 1. Judge Schmidt game 2.
So if they're throwing Judge Schmidt in the second game, I think they'll be in good shape. They got to score runs. They got to get to Roosevelt's pitcher early whoever they end up throwing.
They would play Pier then in the state tournament?
I believe so. Yeah.
They can
I
beat
believe-
Pier.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really good game.
Roosevelt or Pier?
Pier Mitchell.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I think that'd be a great game.
They can beat Pier. There you go. Charlie, what do we got in the indoor football league here?
Well, covered the Bandits yesterday. They won, stay in first place in the North Division. I'm also working on another coffee break. I don't know when it will
Top
come
10?
out,
Top 15?
but it is on the 10 best NBA Finals series ever.
Anyone stick out to you right now?
Let's see. there was one of the Celtics and Lakers played a lot of times. There was one of those that was really high, along with that. I guess it was 3 or 4 years ago now when the Heat beat the Spurs. I don't know if I forgot if that was 2014. That one will also be really high.
A lot of Bulls
the one
ones.
from last year may or may not make the list. If it makes the list, it won't be high because it did go 7 games. And Game 7 was good, but the other 6 games were garbage.
What about Chicago Bulls? They were in a lot of them. Any Bulls ones stick out?
There are a few Bulls ones. I know the last two where they beat the Jazz because the last one it went 6 and he had the shot with 8 seconds left or whatever. They ended up winning. Probably should have been the last shot of his career, but it wasn't. And then I think it was the year before was the flu game where he had 40 or whatever points while he was sick.
Right. Those were good. I didn't see the Sun series in '93, but that looked like a good one. They had a triple overtime game, and Game 6 in '93 was John Paxson. Game 6 in '97 was Steve Kerr. And game 6 in '98 was Jordan. Phil Hughes just getting shredded by this shit Royals team. 4-0. Home runs. Fucking Christ. They can't score. They cannot score. They average 3 runs a game. And here they are. 4-0. Your shit team. There we go. Good trivia. We'll be back next week. Memorial Day. We'll see what happens. For Marcus Traxler, for Charlie Hildebrand, Travis Crins, trivia was good. We'll see you next week.